अब एकदम से मैं कर रही हूँ, आप स्टार्ट कर रही
Good morning. We'll be talking about the endocrine glands part 2, the hypophysis and the thyroid you have already done. Now I'll be discussing more about the adrenal gland and now the suprarenal gland or the another name of the another name for the suprarenal gland is we call it as adrenal because it is lying over the kidneys. The right side suprarenal is triangular and the left of the suprarenal gland is semilunar in shape. Developmentally, it has got two components. This is the capsule of the suprarenal gland, and deep to that is the cortex, which is derived from the mesoderm, and still deeper to that is the medulla, which is developing from the neural crest cells, which you have done. It is the neuroectoderm. So we have these. We have the layers. These are concentrically arranged. The cortex, which is developing from the mesoderm, has got three layers, which are concentrically arranged. Superficial one, this is the capsule or the fascia over the, which is contributed by the fascia, covering the suprarenal gland. So when you draw, you have to be careful. You have to draw the capsule, which is made up of the collagen fibers, connective tissue, and deep to that we have the layer is the zona glomerulosa, and next to still deeper another layer which is called as the zona fasciculata. It is the largest part of the adrenal gland, which contributes more than around 80% of the gland, and the glomerula is around 15% of the gland. And then deeper to that, another concentric layer is the zona reticularis. The deepest is the medulla, which has got the blood vessel, and you can see the medullary vein. So this is the HNE staining of the adrenal gland. The capsule, the zona under raw power, you can see the capsule, the connective tissue made up of collagen and elastic fibers. Then we have the zona glomerulosa, zona fasciculata. The name why it is called zona glomerulosa is because the cells are arranged in the arched fashion, in the kind of a follicle form a glomerulus. So these cells, they form a rounded collection of clumps of cells which are polyhedral or ovoid in shape, and the nuclei are less darkly stained when compared to the nuclei of the zona reticularis. The cells have got lipid material, so which cytoplasm is lightly stained as compared to the reticularis. You can see the glomerulosa, then the fasciculata. In the fasciculata, we have the cells which are arranged 2-cell thick. In between are the sinusoids. Here also, this glomerulus formation. This is the hyper picture of the zona glomerulosa. You can see the cytoplasm, which is slightly stained. The nuclei are stained, which have got lot of smooth endoplasmic reticulum, which is a granular type of there are no granules present. Like in the hypophysis, we could see the secretions were in the form of the vesicles or the granules. Here, the secretions are soluble in the cytoplasm. They diffuse from the plasma membrane to the adjacent cells. So they are secreted by diffusion, not by the exostosis of the granules. That is the difference between the other pituitary glands where we could see the granules. Here there are no granules, but there is lipofuscin material and lipid material. Then we come to the zona this is the zona fasciculata, and this is the zona reticularis. In the reticularis, the cells are arranged in the form of cords, which anastomose with the other cords and give an reticular appearance. So that is why it is called as the reticularis. And this is fasciculata. If you see, in between are the sinusoids. The cells have got lot of lipid, so they give a spongy appearance. They are sometimes called as the spongiocytes. This is another picture to give you the more clarity about the capsule, the zona glomerulosa and the zona fasciculata and zona reticularis. We will come to each layer separately. This is a book, actually that's not a real slide but a book picture, so you can see clearly the blood vessels which are traversing the capsule. Deep to the capsule we have a capsule, the plexus, which is called as the superficial plexus, from where the arterioles will descend down and reach the medulla. Medulla directly or indirectly through the sinusoids of glomerulosa, then the fasciculata, and then in the reticularis, and then go to the medulla. So there are two pathways of reaching these secretions to the medulla or to the blood capillaries. So in between these are the zona fasciculata, which is 2 cell thick. They are arranged in the form of an open U. So we have one layer like this and the second layer going above, and in between is the dilated sinusoids. And this is the reticularis, which is deeply stained because of the presence of the lipofuscin granules which are present. The lipid material is less. The amount of secretions present in the fasciculata are the maximum. The glomerulosa, zona glomerulosa cells, they secrete the mineralocorticoids, and they are smaller cells as compared to the cells of the zona fasciculata, and they are either columnar cells or they are pyramidal in shape. They secrete aldosterone. Aldosterone, which is responsible for it acts on the kidney, which is responsible for the absorption of the sodium ions and water from the kidney. This is stimulated by, actually it is not under the control of ACTH, it is under the control of angiotensin 2, which is secreted by which is controlling the zona glomerulosa, and they also respond to the secretions, they respond to the increase in concentration of the potassium. So when there is an increase in the concentration of potassium, so there is a secretion of mineralocorticoids, and that mainly the ADH, which controls the absorption of water and sodium ions from the kidney. It acts on the distal convoluted tubules of the kidney. Okay. This is in the medulla. This is a part of the medulla, and this is the part of the medulla where you can see these are the ganglion cells. The ganglion cells or the neurons are present in the medulla, but only difference from the other neurons is they don't have axons and dendrites. They are just modified sympathetic neurons. More clear picture along with the high power picture of the zona glomerulosa with the capillary cells arranged in glomerular fashion with the basal nuclei. They are pyramidal or columnar in shape. Here you can see clearly the two layers thick, the zona fasciculata. In between are this is the sinusoids. They are very lightly stained as compared to the glomerulosa and reticularis. You can see these cells are also called as the spongiocytes because this is zona fasciculata cells. They secrete glucocorticoids, cortisol, and In the reticularis, you can see the lipofuscin granules and a network of the cords which are giving a reticular appearance. We'll come to the functional correlations. When we correlate what are the hormones secreted by these three layers. So the first layer just next to the capsule was glomerulosa, which secretes mineralocorticoids, and zona fasciculata we have the glucocorticoids. Zona reticularis, they secrete sex hormones or the androgens. There's some amount of androgens, weak androgens are also secreted by the zona fasciculata. They are under the control of the hypophysis. That is, the hormone secreted is the ACTH that was secreted by the basophils. Now, what are the characteristics of the cells which are surrounding the zona present in the zona glomerulosa? They are ovoid, contain and or they are arranged in clumps. That is the formation of glomeruli, surrounded by number of sinusoidal capillaries. Their cytoplasm stains pink and contains few lipid droplets when compared with the zona fasciculata. So zona fasciculata is intermediate and widest zone. I told you it contributes to 80% of the adrenal gland. They are arranged in a vertical columns of cords, 2 cell thick. In between lies the sinusoidal capillaries. Secrete glucocorticoids. This is just to apprise you of the hyper picture of the zona glomerulosa. And so cells are eosinophilic cells arranged in ovoid groups. There are numerous sinusoidal capillaries. Secretions are the mineralocorticoids, controlling the sodium and water absorption in the distal convoluted tubules of the kidney. Now, this is the picture of the zona fasciculata, where the cells are arranged in vertical columns and there are lipid droplets. So there are a lot of lipid droplets which give a spongy appearance to the cytoplasm of the zona fasciculata cells. They are also called as spongiocytes because they have lot of lipid material. Then the zona fasciculata, what hormones are secreted, and we have said that is the glucocorticoids which control the carbohydrate metabolism by means of the gluconeogenesis, and they also produce lipolysis or proteolysis, not lipolysis, the proteolysis in the muscles, and the glycogen which is liberated is used for the gluconeogenesis. These also suppress the inflammatory responses. Tissue inflammatory responses are suppressed by the glucocorticoids. We have seen that in these COVID infections, you have seen the steroids were given to suppress the inflammatory response of the virus. To decrease the response of the virus, to suppress, actually the infection remains, but the inflammatory response from the body is decreased because of the secretion of the they're depressed, so we artificially they are given as glucocorticoids. Then these, whenever there is it suppresses the tissue response to the injury. Ependosterone, which is responsible for the formation of the testosterone both in males as well as in females. So the short form of the dehydroependosterone is the DHEA, which is a precursor for the androgens and is secreted by the zona reticularis, where, and this part is the medulla where you can see the secretory granules. In the cortex there were no granules. Zona, this is just a repetition just to emphasize again. So what secretions are by the reticularis? Sex steroids and androgens. Again, now the medulla. The medulla contains, you have seen the medulla is the deepest layer of the adrenal gland and was developing from the neural crest. The chromophene cells in the of the derivatives which you have enumerated, you have already done, and you have been told to enumerate the derivatives of the neural crest. In that there were the chromophene cells of the medulla. So we have capsule, cortex and medulla. Now we finished with the capsule and cortex. Now coming to the medulla. The medulla, which has got the chromophene cells, which are nothing but modified post-ganglionic sympathetic neurons, and the difference from the other sympathetic neurons is that it does not have the dendrites and the axons. That is why we are calling it as the modified post-ganglionic sympathetic neurons. They secrete, the cells present in the medulla are arranged in the form of small cords. The nucleus and the nucleolus is prominent with peripheral chromatin. They secrete two important hormones, epinephrine and norepinephrine. Epinephrine, another name is the adrenaline and the noradrenaline. So from the noradrenaline is the formation of the adrenaline. For that we need an enzyme which is the transferase is required, which is also produced by the cells present in the medulla. And these cells are innervated by the autonomic nervous system. Autonomic nervous system is nothing which includes both sympathetic and parasympathetic connections. Now there is a term called as the chromophene reaction. Sometimes you are asked in the viva what is chromophene reaction, mostly for the postgraduates. After tissue fixation in the potassium bicarbonate, there are, these granules, they become visible in the cells of the medulla. These granules appear as brown granules which indicate the presence of the catecholamines, that is epinephrine and norepinephrine, in the cytoplasm. So they are also called as chromogens, which have the granules, thermochromogens, cytochromogens, having brown color granules. After fixation with the potassium dichromate, the reaction which is produced by the cells in the medulla is called as the chromophene reaction. Hypothalamus. So they, in cases of the stress or fear, these adrenaline or catecholamines are secreted because of the emotional stress or any danger or any other situation. When you come across, you see a lion, or when you see Dr. Savita Mishra, head of the department, coming, your stress increases. So at that time these epinephrine and norepinephrine is secreted. Your sympathetic overactivity of the sympathetic nervous system, and in this overactivity what happens is the increase in the heart rate. There is an increase in the cardiac output which will raise our blood pressure, and Because of the increased heart rate, increased cardiac output, the blood BP is increased and there is a surge of glucose. So you get even the goose flesh sometimes. These all are included in the fight or flight response, which is more prominently seen in the animals, and even in human beings the reaction is there, but we can mask it by other emotions. We can see this is the artery. There are three arteries which are supplying the suprarenal gland. That superior suprarenal, middle suprarenal, and inferior suprarenal. The superior suprarenal is a branch from the inferior phrenic artery. The middle is branch from the aorta, and the inferior suprarenal, you can see the organ is very small, but we have the three arteries which are supplying. So the cortex, without cortex you cannot survive. Cortex is essential for life. However, we can survive without medulla. That can be these hormones can be supplemented artificially. So, but we cannot survive without cortex. The three arteries I've told you: superior, middle, and inferior. Inferior is branch from renal artery. Middle is branch from abdominal aorta, and superior is branch from the inferior phrenic artery. So these arterioles form a plexus just below the capsule, which is called as the superficial capillary plexus. From there descends the capillaries, and the dilated capillaries are called sinusoids. So we have in this zona fasciculata between the cells are the sinusoids, and then in the lower part of the zona reticularis is the deep plexus. So one is the superficial plexus and the other one is the deep plexus, which is present in the zona reticularis and medulla. From there arise the arteries which drain into the suprarenal vein. From there, the formation of the suprarenal vein, which drains on the right side the inferior vena cava, and on the left side it drains onto the left renal vein. There is a developmental difference developmentally. So you can be asked why the left suprarenal vein drains into renal and the right suprarenal vein drains into the inferior vena cava. Try to find out why it is happening like this. Okay, so thus to revise again, the glomerulosa are secreting mineralocorticoids, the fasciculata glucocorticoids, and from the reticularis and from the medulla there is a secretion of the norepinephrine and epinephrine, from reticularis androgens, and to some amount the glucocorticoids. So cortisol secretion, glucocorticoids or the cortisol is secreted by the zona fasciculata. This is just to highlight that the vein from the medulla, ultimately from reticularis to the medulla, the deeper plexus forms a central vein which passes from the hilus of the suprarenal gland and drains into then it will drain into renal or inferior vena cava. So from the fasciculata, reticularis form capillary plexus, formation of the major vein, which is surrounded by longitudinally arranged smooth muscle cells. So we have in the reticularis, there are longitudinally, another feature of this is that there are presence of the smooth muscle cells which are arranged longitudinally. These are the islets which are surrounded by the pancreatic acini. Here you can see the pancreatic acini, they resemble the acini of the parotid gland. So they have these, they secrete serous secretions. So that is why we say you have to know the difference between the parotid and the delta cells. They secrete, peptidases, they are secreted, they are also called as PP cells, which control the secretions of alpha and the beta cells. This is another term which is the, you can see this is the pancreatic acini, and in the pancreas, to differentiate from the parotid gland, there are centroacinar cells which are present in the pancreas, which are not present in the parotid gland, but the intercalated ducts. They, from the intralobular ducts, they end in the acini, and it is like a straw. When you drink coconut water from the coconut, we put the straw inside. Similarly, the duct of the exocrine part of the pancreas, it enters the acini and starts lining the, along with the acinar cells, which are pyramidal or columnar in shape. So we have cuboidal or columnar cells which merge with the pancreatic acini to form the intercalated duct, and there are cells which are called as the centroacinar cells. Here you can see the interlobular duct, intralobular duct, and this is the intercalated duct which is going inside the human of the acinus, like a, so you can, the secretions are sucked from the duct and then travel through the, ultimately will go to the main pancreatic duct. So this is a single acinus which has lined by the pyramidal cells or the tall columnar cells. This, now if we see, this is a, we'll be doing again comparing it with the pancreas, but just to tell you that the cells which are lining the pancreatic acinus have got the basal basophilia and apical eosinophilia. This is yellow thing is the Golgi apparatus, and this is the rough endoplasmic reticulum. So there are two types of secretions secreted by the pancreatic cells lining the acinus. One is the bicarbonate ions, and the other one is the enzymes which are proteins. These are more watery secretions, serous secretions secreted by the this pancreatic acinus, and from the ribosomes, from the, there are free ribosomes also, and those attached to the cristae of the rough endoplasmic reticulum. Then the sulfate moiety is added in the Golgi apparatus. So we have the granules which are eosinophilic, called as the zymogenic granules. So these are under the influence, the bicarbonate is acetylcholine and cholecystokinin. They are responsible for the formation of the enzymes, stimulation of the enzymes of the pancreas. Secretin, which is secreted by the gastric mucosa, secretes the bicarbonate ions to neutralize the effect of the acid secreted by the stomach, because there is acid which is coming from the stomach along with the food, and that will eat away the lining epithelium of the intestines. To prevent that, from the second part of the duodenum, the bicarbonate ions, so to make the food or the food material alkaline, we need bicarbonate ions, and for digestion of the food we need the pancreatic secretions, which are the enzymes, cholecystokinin, which help in the digestion. This is how you will see the low power picture. In the slide, that is H&E stain. So A is standing for the group of the SNS, I is for the islets of Langerhans. So there are a lot of islets which will be absent in the parotid gland, and this is the venule or the arteries. In between we have surrounding the, there are few D cells also. The in between you can see the small are surrounding the islets are the small capillaries, lot of blood vessels, capillaries surrounding the islets. So this is a higher magnification where you can see the extension of these capillaries along with lot of capsule. Islets are surrounded by a thin capsule, connective tissue capsule. Very in the pancreas there is very little connective tissue, and in the parotid gland still more connective tissue as compared to the pancreas. And from this goes the in between the connective tissue there are the groups of islands of cells which are the. Now just to revise again, what are the types of cells present in the islets? Alpha cells, beta cells, delta cells, and the F cells, which these two control the secretions of beta and alpha cells. The alpha cells are secreting the glucagon, beta cells are secreting the insulin, and they are surrounded by a lot of blood capillaries. Now just again to recapitulate again, 20% of the cells are the present are the alpha cells. Mostly the cells are the beta cells which control the glucose metabolism, that is insulin is secreted by the beta cells. Delta are about 5 to 10% which secretes somatostatin. PP cells are the pancreatic polypeptide, they secrete hormones secreted. So what do? Acts on the stored glycogen and fat available through glycogenolysis and lipolysis. They increase the blood glucose. You will do more details in physiology, I hope. And insulin acts on several tissues to cause entry of glucose in it. It promotes the glucose absorption, so reduces the blood glucose levels. This inhibits inhibits the release of the other islet hormones through the local paracrine action, and inhibits the release of growth hormone as well as TSH in the anterior pituitary, and the HCl secretion from the parietal cells of the stomach. This stimulates the chief cells and inhibits the secretions. Pancreatic enzyme and bicarbonate secretions are, it controls the pancreatic enzymes, bicarbonate secretion, and the intestinal motility. So that finishes with the pancreas. Now few words about the, just to revise again, about the thyroid. What were the hormones secreted were the T4 and the T3. Thyroxine is converted into T3, and then the T4 has more delayed action. The active is the T3. And what is the they say कि we would be couch potatoes if the thyroid was not there, which is responsible for our awakeness and activity. So this thyroid hormones, they increase the BMR, they have a calorogenic effect. That means it raises the temperature, goes up. It regulates the growth and the development of nearly all the systems of the body. It controls the fat metabolism, protein metabolism, glucose metabolism, and helps in the mobilization of fats. Some people even take thyroxine to reduce weight. That is because it mobilizes the fat. It helps in protein synthesis and maintains our blood pressure as well as cardiovascular system. Colloid. Okay. Now, what are the hormones produced? We have already said T4 and T3, tetraiodothyronine and the triiodothyronine. Tetra is the inactive form and triiodothyronine is the active form. And there is a negative feedback mechanism, which is by the TSH secreted by the anterior pituitary, and the other hormone which is secreted by the is the parafollicular cells, which are present in between the follicles. Between the follicular cells and the basement membrane, we have the parafollicular cells, which secrete the calcitonin. Now, what are the actions of calcitonin? It stimulates the secretions, is high in the serum calcium, and it lowers the stimulus for secretion is high serum calcium. When there is a high levels of serum calcium, there is secretion of calcitonin, which helps in the calcium uptake and deposition in the bone. That means it is a bone sparing action. It has a bone sparing action and inhibits the osteoclast activity in the bone. You have seen when you did the bone, there were osteoclasts which are responsible for the breakdown of the bone. So it has effect which prevents the osteoporosis. So useful in cases of the osteoporosis. Now, just a question, why would the hypothyroidism, person with hypothyroidism such as in Graves' disease, feel warm? The answer is that they have a greater BMR. It is not that their blood vessels are dilated or they have a blood pressure higher or they sweat a lot. No, it is because of the higher BMR they feel warm. Graves' disease, which is hypersecretion of the thyroid hormones, which also happens in normal goiter also. Hypersecretions which lead to the exophthalmos, which is irreversible. This is autoimmune. The cells, all the T3 and T4 get attached to the receptors of the follicular cells. So there is the TSH, there is no feedback mechanism. Constantly there is secretion of the thyroid hormones which lead to the thyrotoxicosis, increased heart rate, increased blood pressure, tremors, anxiety. Then they suffer from they all the time hungry or thirst. All these are symptoms of the hyperthyroidism and tremors and the exophthalmos, which is irreversible. So this is another name for it is this is called as the Graves' disease. Why would a child suffering from keratonism have mental retardation and short stature? Skeletal growth is poor, nervous system development is incomplete. So it is the both 1 and 2 together give rise to the mental retardation and short stature. This is the goiter. The lady is suffering from the goiter. You can see because of the hyposecretions or hyperthyroid, there becomes the enlargement of the thyroid gland, which is pandemic in certain areas of the India. Thank you very much. I hope you have understood. Thank you for your patient listening. Thank you.